Welcome to today's podcast episode where we will be discussing a very interesting topic that comes up for so many of us all the time, but it's how to turn our pain into passion. This conversation comes up almost instantly with my clients because at some point, somewhere in our lives, we've all experienced certain degrees or certain levels of pain. And it's learning or understanding how we can use that to our advantage, or how we can try and help somebody who could potentially be in the same situation as us, being able to pass down learning or being able to be of service of somebody else. When we think of how we're able to transmute or channel that type of energy, I always try to avoid feeling my emotions. And I spent so long just learning how to push them down and how to suppress them that being able to turn off my emotions was like scarily not okay. All because I just didn't want to feel them. Like the thought of having to feel those seemed worse than the pain that I was actually in. So when I pushed them down further and further and further, eventually they were going to come up. But if I had have just sat in them in the moment that I needed them to come up, I would have learned a lesson, or something would have come from that, would have been transmuted from that pain. So when we avoid our emotions or don't want to sit with them or think that we can just distract ourselves or drink them away or God only knows what else, we're just delaying the inevitable, delaying that eventually. When you think of your emotions like this, that if you're in the swimming pool and you're like trying to push like a ball or whatever below the surface, you have to like really work to do that. It takes energy, a lot of energy, to try and push all of it down, as opposed to just letting it come up. And if you let it come up, then it just erupts for a second and then it's gone. I learned that the hard way, that eventually it does come up and you have to deal with it one way or the other. So your first step, or the first advice or anything that I can give, is being able to sit and identify your emotions that you're dealing with, or how to cultivate that emotion. The easiest emotion, and I say easiest, this is probably like not my easiest. The easiest emotion to try and get to come up is anger. If you can get someone to a place of anger or rage or frustration, that's like a really good place to start. As much as we're told as it's bad or it's not helpful or it's, something that we don't want to see, anger is the emotion that you want. Anger is the emotion that says that I'm done, or I'm over how I'm living my life. I'm over how I've allowed myself to be treated. I'm just done. And that emotion, that one, when harnessed correctly, can help transform you to a more elevated place to be able to create or produce something from that pain. Most people think it's sadness, but it's not sadness, it's anger. When you can harness that anger does a lot of things. It's kind of like a fuck you in a way, or whatever that thing, it's like whatever that thing, person, place, whatever it was that made you feel that way, harness it and use it. When you're moving through your emotions, if you're someone like myself who just suppressed for a very long time, or is like scared of their emotion, or maybe you were told that anger was bad, or maybe being sad was bad, so the only state you think you're aware of is just happiness. I was one of those people who didn't identify with being angry. Like, I'm not an angry person. I don't get angry. I've never been angry. And that's quite possible because I just shoved it all down. But one day it was going to come up, or it came out in ways that I just wasn't conscious of yet, usually towards other people. So other people got to experience my anger, which is not fair. I like to do a thing with my clients called clarity mapping, getting a complete understand of where you are at your life, or things that you're happy with, things that you aren't happy with. And hopefully we reach a place of things that you're angry at, that you desperately want to change and you're just getting frustrated at the situation. That's where the real change happens. So if you can identify, if you're doing this at home or if I'm doing it with a client, we kind of identify areas that they want to work on. So let's just say it's in business and they're not making the amount of money that they want to be. Are they frustrated at the fact that they're not making the money that they want? Are they angry at the fact that they're not making the money that they want? Or maybe they're in a job that they hate. Are they angry enough to do something about it? Because until the until the pain of staying where you are is greater than the pain of change, that's when it happens. So being able to do it like a clear framework to do mapping of self-reflection in different areas, whether that be life or business, and then how you want to change them or how you want to show up is completely up to you. The best way to do this is pull out a piece of paper. I put in like little quadrants. So whether that be like relationships, financial, health and wellness, and then spiritual, and start rating yourself in those areas, like how you show up in your relationship. Is it fulfilling you, or is it not? How you're being treated or how you're treating your spouse. Is it okay or is it not? If these things are not how you want, or you want to change them in a different way, you have to identify yourself whether you're willing to make a change or you're not. And if you're not, no one else is going to make it for you. You will have to do it. And if you're happy with how things are, fantastic. But don't complain about it. And I mean that in a loving, compassionate way. If you are happy with your life, that is more than okay. If you're happy with what you have, the amount of money you have, your job, like if everything for you is exactly how you want it, amazing. Like that's the pinnacle of where people chase. But if you complain about something, it's because you either want to make a change or you just like the attention in which complaining gives you. Both are problems. But both you have to change. And you have to want to change them because of you. If you've gone through something, like if we're identifying what pain could be, that pain could be on a huge spectrum, right? It could be the pain of not making enough money, the pain of hating the job that you're in, the pain of, not being validated in the work that you're actually doing. Or it could be all the way on the following end of the spectrum, which is complete traumatic, whatever it is, insert below, right? Those two extremes are going to produce two different things depending on the person. I could produce the same type of thing, and people have, based on this like two extreme different circumstances. The second thing, because I'm 90% sure I said a first thing, the second thing I would start implementing is boundaries into what you want your life to look like. If it's creating, let's say you're sick of being in the job that you are. You're not being paid enough. You're not being validated for the work that you're doing. And it's just a corporate 9 to 5, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with a corporate 9 to 5. This is just where this person is, and they're over it. They're angry. Anger is a good place. It means you want to change. Or you're angry enough at the situation that we've reached an emotional point where you're like, I'm done. Let's change this. Start identify the places that you might want to be. Is it another 9 to 5? Just at a different work environment? Fantastic. Start looking. Is it you've decided that you're no longer wanting to work for somebody else? Amazing. What are you going to do? How are you going to make money? Do you have 6 months saved up? Or are you just going to roll the dice and say, I'm all in? All scenarios are perfectly fine. The emotion that you can cultivate in that area does remarkable things for people. When you hear of people changing their lives, usually stems around something drastic happen, like something upheaved their lives to the point where they're like, well, I have to do something, figure it out right now. All that emotion is doing something to you. It's making you move. It's making you want to figure it out so that you can either keep having the life that you have or build a better one. Usually this happens for people in relationships. When a breakup happens, there's a drastic shift to improve themselves or improve their physical sense. Some learn something from it. Some want to understand what happened and what their role was in it. Some seek that growth opportunity that's provided through the distribution of those emotions. So if you're sitting in a place where you're like, I've been through this, or I've done this, or I'm just over what's happening, you need to tap into those emotions. The saying, you need to feel your emotions. It's a great place to start. We can talk about it and we can logically understand it. And I am like the last person to should be preaching about this, but I intellectualize everything. So when I go to therapy, I'm able to understand what it's like, and I can tell you what it should feel like, and I can express logically all of it from A to Z. But for a long time, I was just like, well, that's the only type of work we do. We don't need to feel it. I was wrong. Because if I just felt it, then everything that I was avoiding would just surface, be gone, and then I could transmute that into something. That's where real growth happens for people. And sometimes we toggle between the two. If we intellectualize everything, we skip the feeling. And if we skip the feeling, that feeling is still going to show up just in different ways. For me personally, it was outwardly focused at other people who did not deserve the way in which I was showing up. The saying, if you don't heal the wound, you'll bleed on people who did not cut you, is like 1,000 times true. I personally believe that whatever pain we go through, right? The pain of the job that we hate, or traumatic pain, or the pain of a relationship or a friendship or family, whatever it is to help us be propelled into a new state. And that new state is done by intentional work to get us to the point. Just like when you build a business, it's done through an intentional work, intentional structures and systems and processes that get you to the end goal. In a way, I personally like to think of myself as a business with intentional work, intentional structures and systems and habits and, values and beliefs. I become the version that I want, which is the end result. For a business, it's the same thing. Those intentional practices, systems, beliefs, and values that get the business from nothing to a sale, or nothing to wherever it is that the owner wants it to go. So if you're sitting at home and you're listening to this and you're like, I've been through so much, or I've been through so much pain, or I'm tired of this, or I'm tired of that, start doing some self-reflecting. How do you want to show up better? How do you want to serve somebody else? Remember, turn things from inwardly focused to outwardly focused. How do I want to serve somebody else? How do I want to help somebody else? How can I use what I've experienced or gone through or, processed and apply it to get the thing that I want or to help somebody else? 2, cultivate that anger. If the anger is not cultivated, cultivate it. Find it. Sit with it. Feel it. And then use it to create whatever it is that you want. 3, make a plan. Identify what it is that even if it's just improving yourself, you don't have to create something into, like, I always relate purpose back to business because that's my thought process and that's my mind. But Purpose for you could literally just be showing up as a better human being. Purpose for somebody else could be, creating a product that they're able to sell online, or being able to give out information, or just have a conversation with somebody that helps them. And I think when we look at purpose that way, it doesn't have to necessarily be a thing that we make money off. It can just be how we show up or how we go about it. So if it's simply to make yourself a better human being, then start. So that would be my third thing, would be identify people who can help you do that. Therapists, mentors, coaches, that type of aspect. If it's business, and business coaches, business mentors, that area. If it's family, maybe it's seeking feedback from your family as to how you could show up better. I think when we look at pain and purpose, we feel like something drastic has to come from it. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe the thing that comes from it is that we simply become better people. And because of that, it manifests in different ways, or it is given back to us. The full circle comes back to us in a different way. And I think when I think about it that way, it sounds like a pretty nice place to be. If it for you is showing up in business a different way, creating something that you can give back, or if it's cultivating a deeper, sense of self, then amazing. You just have to decide when you want to change, how you want to change, and why you're going to change. And the rest, implementing it, is all up to you. I hope today's episode was insightful and or helpful for you. And I hope you're able to take something from it, even if it's a small bit of information, or you're able to resonate with a little bit of it. And if you are, then my job is done, and I am very thankful that I'm able to do this for you. If you have questions, please join me on my Instagram, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions anytime, anyplace. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to talking with you all another day.